Hello again. It's gin o'clock and it's happy hour somewhere in the world. That's right. We're talking all things gin with Mikasa's J Something. The musician and kitchen maestro has embarked on a new adventure with the launch of his latest creation, Jin Gin.
Jin Gin blends flavors inspired by J Something's Portuguese and South African heritage to create a unique flavor. To tell us more, I'm joined in studio by the man himself and the craft link manager, director Albert van Wyk.
So what's up, guys?
Gentlemen.
We're good. Let's unformalize this news and let's just talk.
I mean, with gin on the table, why not?
So Jay, we know you better for, hitting all the right notes on stage and making the ladies go literally goo gaga. Why the move to gin?
Well, I love gin, number one. And to be honest with you, instead of me making it sound like it was this genius idea, it was a very innocent idea. I thought if you take G out of gin and you put a J, it still says gin. And that was the idea. And then it was like, wow, imagine one day I could make a gin. I've had this idea for some while. And then I met up with Albert and his team and I was like, can you guys make me a gin? Because he makes Ginologist. Ginologist happens to be the best gin in South Africa at the moment.
Great.
So I spoke to him and we birthed these babies together.
And Albert, gin was used for medicinal purposes in the 1600s, and till today it's curing us of all kinds of aches and pains. But let's talk about the work that you do and talk about our love for gin as South Africans. A good G&T on a hot day always does the trick.
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly it. And that's the thing about gin, is it's a nice refreshing drink.
Yeah.
And I think gin, look, we don't like the negative stereotypes.
Right.
We think it's the perfect drink to enjoy when you're celebrating.
Yeah.
And South Africans are warming up to gin. I think they're really enjoying the way that you can play with it. It's all part of the journey of making a G&T.
Yeah.
You choose your gin, you choose your tonic, what you add to it, and by the end of it, you have your own little creation that you can be proud of, or next time, try something different.
Yeah, and we see like an emergence of more and more South African gins, which is so amazing.
Yes, the gin movement is really going strong. I mean, when we were busy getting gins for our new gin bar, the Little Fox, we approached 40 different South African brands.
Sure.
So the market's exploding, but at the same time, the South African consumer is actually learning more about gin. So they're being more selective of what they choose. But that said, the market's looking good.
So Jay, tell us, what sets your gin apart from everyone?
Well,
Is there a musical note when you pop it open?
Yeah, of course. it just depends on how well you're listening. But I think that, the whole thing about it, the slogan of this gin is that it's still gin, but it's something different. And I think that, in a market that's got so many gins, what I wanted to do was bring a little bit of lifestyle to the gin game, So this gin is all about music, it's all about food, it's all about lifestyle, it's all about fun. But the flavors are quite unique. We've got rooibos, orange, and honey, which has a lot to do with singing. So rooibos and honey is what I drink before I perform. Oranges are from the south of Portugal. So it's just a blend of my Portuguese and South African. Rooibos, very South African. Tomato and pepper juice, essentially, sweet pecan peppers.
Tomato and pepper juice.
Very foodie vibe, bringing that savory element to gin, which we absolutely love.
Sure.
And then honey and olives. We eat a lot of olives in Portugal. And honey, again, soothing of the voice. So it's just trying to bring these elements together, and I think that's what makes it stand out. And then on top of it, if you look at it, it looks pimping. It's just like epic,
Yeah.
So it's like it's the most stylish gin and the coolest gin in the market. It's cool.
Okay, Albert, let's maybe pour some in the glass. We'd like to smell them, because gin also has I'm just imagining with the different flavors that you have. And talk to us about what actually you compare this gin with. So for instance, with the honey and you said honey and?
Olives.
Honey and olives.
Yeah, so look, when we started this project, it wasn't hard finding inspiration for the flavors of the gins. The honey and olive, what we tried to do was capture Jay's heritage and his singing.
Smells divine.
So olives, very well known in Portugal, from Portugal, and the honey, because that's what Jay drinks before he sings.
Yeah.
And so that gin is it's almost the closest to a normal classic dry gin. And look, the way we design these gins is for you to be able to enjoy them without going overboard.
Yeah.
But this one goes quite nicely with a sprig of mint.
What I dig about these gins is that, you don't have to put a lot. I get so like agitated when people like drink this gin and then
me
they're
a
putting like
double.
strawberries and
Give me a double
and all these things because it actually just tastes amazing on its own.
On its own.
Yeah, no, you don't
it
need a fruit
smells
salad.
divine as
This one
well.
is
Is that something that you
delicious.
take careful care of, like to make sure that even from the moment you just almost gulp it down, it just
No, exactly.
goes
The
straight
first step
to you?
in the gin making process is the smell. That's the first thing you check when you make a gin. You check the smell. Then you give it a sip, add some ice, give it another sip. If the flavor's still there, then you know you have enough flavor.
Yeah.
And then you pour the G&T because that's the way people like to drink it.
So that's the rooibos orange and honey.
It smells divine.
It hits
Is there
all the
such
right
a
notes.
thing as
Yeah,
too much gin? Can you ever have too much
of
gin?
course. Yeah.
I'm sure you can. like all alcohol, drink responsibly.
100%.
And I think that's a big part of my messaging. You know, it's just like I know that a lot of younger people are watching what I do, and especially the students and so forth. And like for me, I'm not a big drinker. I'm not like an overboard drinker. That's one thing that I really want to push is just like make sure that when you drink responsibly.
We're officially opening the silly season, but also saying drink responsibly.
Yes. Yeah.
And how much would a bottle of Jin Gin set me back?
So we're going to the market at about
We want to hit about 380.
380.
Standard
Yeah.
pricing.
Yeah, for your craft gins.
Yeah.
Standard pricing.
So yeah, this one that you're smelling now is the tomato sweet picante pepper. So inspired by Jay's cooking background.
Yeah.
There's not many gins with tomato in, and this is the only gin in the world with pepper juice in.
Yeah. So you made sure that you put your own personality
Well, it has
in
to
this
be,
as well.
otherwise it's just, like, I think that one thing that's different about this thing is that it doesn't say, like, this is the J something gin. Because that would be, like, so cheesy, man. That's like, can't you get a little bit more creative than that? So this is me. Like, I've been working hands-on with the team, to make sure that my story comes through. And as or more than that you actually just get a dope product, that looks cool, tastes great, and then also happens to have this lifestyle attached to it.
100%. We know what we're having after this, no?
Yeah.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming through this morning.
Follow
to
us on
chat
Instagram.
to us.
It's at GinGinZA.
At Jin Gin ZA, and you spell Jin Gin J-I-N.
So J-I-N-G-I-N-Z-A.
Right. I just
Cheers
smelled
to you,
it.
Jin.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys. Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys, for coming through
Thank
to
you for
chat
having
to
us.
us. Let's take a short break. We're back with more after this.